Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Easily Knitfluenced and my name is Michelle. Happy fall, guys. It's finally here. I'm in long sleeves. Haven't done that in a while. So yeah, we are fully into fall here. We're approaching the end of September, so all the fall vibes. It's been a minute since I filmed. It's been just a little crazy with work. I've been traveling a little bit, so haven't really had a time to settle in and kind of plan out an episode and come talk to you guys. But here we are. So kicking off this podcast, let's address the elephant in the room, which is a project that will no longer come to fruition. I've probably put it in my title here somewhere. But this is the Claire Vest by Moby Knits. If you've been following me for a while, you saw me talk about this in my last episode, and I will just show you where it is now, in case you're tuning in for the first time, because it has not changed since then. So this is the top half of the Claire Vest by Moby Knits, and I am knitting this with yarn held double. Oops, oh gosh, this is getting kind of messy. Yarn held double. This is the Camellia Fiber Co. Silk Tweed Fingering in the color Sand, I believe. Yes, Sand. A beautiful blended yarn, has these gorgeous little tweedy black and brown specks. I love a tweed moment, so that is exactly why I bought this yarn, and I thought this would look so fantastic in this really chic summer vest pattern. Yeah. My last podcast, I was kind of mulling back and forth. You know, I tried this on. I knew the V was going to be deep, but this was like borderline unwearable deep. And my measurements meant that I was knitting the size I was supposed to be knitting. But yeah, I put it on and was not feeling amazing about how it looked. And I discussed that on my last podcast. And I think one of the commenters, there were a couple commenters, but one in particular said something that really stuck with me. They said, listen, you know, there's definitely options for that vest. You could like take it back a little bit and knit the armholes for a different size or just make it less, the V a little less intense. But they said, hey, listen, you know, your body language about this vest is very much like, don't want this. And so I went back and I looked at the video and yeah, they were absolutely correct. My body language was very much like, not into it. So I have decided that this is going in the frog pond. We are sitting in the frog pond. I just have to get around to unraveling basically half a garment with 2 skeins of a very light fingering weight yarn. And as you can expect, nobody would be in a rush to do that. So I haven't started or endeavored to start that yet. But it's going to happen because I just don't see myself wearing this. It is a beautiful yarn. It will have a use for sure somewhere else because I have, I believe, 4 skeins of it since I was planning to hold it double. And I think it's more than 400 meters per skein. So more than enough to hold with something to make, for example, a pullover. And I think where this yarn might really shine is in a very simple stockinette, maybe held with another light colored yarn, like a fingering merino maybe, and aim for a DK weight sweater, like I don't know, the Monday sweater or something very simple, like just a raglan where the color of the yarn and the tweed and the texture can kind of shine a little bit, which is kind of what I had planned for the Claire Vest, but obviously that didn't pan out. So yeah, it kind of led to me thinking, you know, I am now, let's see, I knit my very first garment for myself. Well, I finished it. I got it off the needles early 2023. So I am, call it a year and a half into making garments for myself. And I just think back to when I was first doing this. And you know, when you first knit, when you knit your first garment, you're just so thrilled at the fact that you can make things now and you can make things that you can wear that, I don't know, at least for me, I was almost just like churning them off my needles without even really thinking about whether it was something I wanted or something I would wear or something that would work with other things in my wardrobe. And now I've almost swung in the complete opposite direction where I'm like, you know, this isn't quite perfect. And I have so many other things, other projects I want to work on with other yarns, and that continuing this in the hope that the bottom half of the project is gonna rescue the top half somehow seemed like a bit of a silly exercise. And so yeah, I've become much pickier now as a knitter. I kind of feel like it needs to be something I really, really want, because if I look back at my first year's worth of knitting, I've given away a lot of those projects. I've either given them away or I have not worn them really at all. And it's not until recently that I started to make things that I wear outside of the house, that I wear to work, that I wear on vacation. And I kind of want to continue that. So that is why this poor thing is gonna find a new use. We will find a use for this yarn. It's just not gonna be in the Claire Vest. So that's that for the Claire Vest. Unfortunate, but you know, these things happen, and I would rather not suffer the opportunity cost of that yarn being stuck in a project I never wear. I'd like to have it really be beautiful somewhere. So I'll think of another use for it. But moving on to brighter topics, something that I am really enjoying working on and that will absolutely make its way into my wardrobe is the Moonset Tee by Ozetta. So here is my progress currently. I'll try and hold this up. So here she is. Try and move back a little bit here. So you can see I have made real progress on the body here. I think I'll probably keep knitting for, let's say, another couple of inches here. And then I need to figure out the whole I-cord bind off thing. I've never done that before, and there's all these instructions about use a smaller needle, larger needle, tighter, I don't know. So I need to just figure out, like, I've done an I-cord before, but only, what did I do it for? I think I did it for a Cadre sweater where there was like an I-cord seam in the back of the sweater, and then you kind of picked up stitches on either side of the I-cord. So that's all I've ever done. I've never done a bind off, so that's gonna be interesting with this guy. But I am knitting this out of, some stats here. I'm knitting this out of Knitting for Olive cotton merino in the color Koala, held single, and this is on a US 4. Excuse me, this is on a US 3 or a 3.25 millimeter needle. So a lot of slow going stockinette here, but this is like my commute train project or sitting in front of the TV at night project when I don't really need to see all that well. I am in pure stockinette mode on this one. So I think I'll be done with the body soon. And then it's just the sleeves and I guess seaming down the back of this collar. But yeah, I'm still really loving this. This is going to be pretty oversized on me, which is kind of exactly what I wanted, like a loose fitting tee. You guys know I did the Ozetta Lakes tee, which was a very different construction, of course, but also quite loose fitting, but the perfect length. I'm going to try and emulate that length as much as I can with this. I love that top. I wear it a lot. I've worn it to work. I've worn it to work lunches. It's perfect, and I love her design. So I'm hoping that this garment occupies a similar place in my wardrobe as well. And it's kind of a more neutral color than the red, which is what I did for the Lakes tee. So I think this will go with a lot. And I just love the collar. I think it looks so good. It looks so good. I'm a huge fan, and I'm really excited to have this in my wardrobe. So yeah, 10 out of 10, you know, can't really complain about anything in the construction. We're gonna see how that I-cord goes. I will report back because I can envision maybe some experimentation there, and I might have to take it back a couple times and just see how it works out. But yeah, if I can do, like, if I can pick up stitches off an I-cord, I'm pretty sure I can do the bind off. So we shall see. Famous last words, maybe. Okay, now in a similar vein, a whip that I have resurrected here, and this is getting tangled, but very similar. A whip I've resurrected is the Moonset Pullover by Ozetta. So I figured I had just done that collar, and I thought I was at the point with the pullover where I was gonna start the collar. So I thought, let me just do that so that I don't kind of lose my muscle memory of doing it. So this is what I have so far. I can't even put it on, a hanger because there's not enough here, but this is the back panel, and then here you have the start of one front. So that's the start of one side of the collar, and I've started the other side of the collar here. We'll join at the bottom there, and then work down in the round. This I am knitting on a US 6, which is a 4 millimeter needle, and this is the Knitting for Olive Merino and Soft Silk Mohair in the color Bordeaux held together. and that gives this beautiful wine color, as you would expect from the name. Lovely. So this is actually my first project pairing those two yarns together. I've worked with, obviously, the merino previously, and there are other fingering weight yarns held single, but not held together. So this is my first time working with that, and it is, to me, it feels very soft. You know, I think this will be a really versatile top. Again, I love the little halo there, which I'm hoping you can see. Just trying to get it to focus. And it's a beautiful color. And it's funny because I'm doing the two projects side by side. This one feels like it's flying, obviously, because I'm on a US 6. The other one's a US 3. So it's actually really funny how quickly I got this front panel done versus how long it took me with the t-shirt. So yeah, I mean, not a whole lot else to say about this. I kind of am obsessed with the Moonset universe now, where I'm like, I think there's a vest that I might do at some point, but it's just such a beautiful construction. I love the V, I mean, let's see, I'm wearing a V-neck today. I love the V-neck look. And it's just a beautiful top. I feel like it's very, you know, very size inclusive as well, which somebody else made that comment to me on my last video too. They were like, I've noticed that where you're having issues with fit, it's because you're working with designers' patterns that are not size inclusive. And that's a really good point. You know, we'll come to it, but Anne Wenzel is a big culprit for things like this too, where, you know, I think the Cardi Cocoon, which I'm knitting at the moment, has 2 sizes. And granted, it is a very oversized, like, you know, kind of shapeless item, but 2 sizes, you know. So somebody made a very good point, and I think that's why I love these Ozetta patterns so much. Like, I am falling down the Ozetta rabbit hole the way some people have like their petite knit obsession. I just have her page open on Ravelry constantly, and I'm looking through like, what should I make next? I think I want to make one of her jackets, you know, like the field day jacket, maybe in, I don't know, maybe a blown yarns, like something like light and loose could be really nice. But I just love her whole aesthetic. I love the very thoughtful construction, but very simple lines, but it's not all just raglan sweaters, you know? So she's got the saddle shoulders, she's got like the drop shoulders, like the moon sets, but then there's a really interesting detail of the V-neck. So there's like a little something going on with all of these patterns that I just love. I think she is a really talented designer. I love the way her patterns are written. So please, you know, if you haven't checked her out, definitely do, but you're going to see more of her on this channel because I think her style matches what I like a lot. So her tops are very polished, I think, and good for office wear, good for like Zooms and stuff. But then she has kind of very cozy looking outdoor, you know, play with the kids in the winter time kind of jacket type things that you can just throw on over something else. So I need both of those things. I'm sure some of you guys do too. So yeah, she really caters to like my my different lives, I guess. So yes, love her. I think the tee will probably still get done quicker than this, despite the bigger gauge on this one, but this is probably not far behind. I do need to do long sleeves for this guy though, so, you know, we'll see. But I would love to have both of these done and just mix and match. Okay, then another whip where I've been making really good progress, I think, and I don't think I can put this on a, well, maybe I can try and put this on a hanger. I won't give it a shot, but I'll hold it up differently for you to see as well. Is the Bruno Vest by Mareka Knit. This is not my best styling here, but okay, so I have joined the front and the back, and I am working an armhole trim now for this garment. So I am knitting this out of, excuse me, I am knitting this out of Pearl Soho Signet in Heirloom White, which is this beautifully soft. It's a 6-ply fingering weight, so it's sort of fluffy, and it's a mix of all undyed, but mostly, I think it's 70% cashmere and 30% alpaca, and it is beautifully soft. So love how this is working up. I am on the ribbing now. So let me actually, I'll tell you a little bit about the construction, I guess. So take this off. You start here, excuse me, you start here with the back panel, you know, work some short rows and then kind of work down and stockinette up to a certain point, put the stitches on hold. Then you pick up right side, left side, My pickup is looking a little messy, but I think this will shake out a little bit in blocking. Do some more short rows, and then work increases as you kind of work that big kind of collar hole. And then this is like really genius construction, I think. So the way this works is, you'll notice I have not joined in the round here. This is, okay, you're gonna be cursed with this image because I had this realization and now I can't shake it. See, look, does this not look to you like one of those like paper sheets, the disposable toilet seat covers that you get in public bathrooms? Because that's all I can see now when I put this down or hold it up. I don't knit with a lot of white, so this is the first time I've had this horrifying realization. So now you get to think about that too. Lucky you. Well, anyway, what I was saying about construction. So I did not notice this in the pictures, but you don't join in the round before doing the trim. The trim for the armholes comes first. And I think, if I'm reading the pattern right, and hopefully I don't have to correct myself, but I don't think that this trim like joins here. I think you pick up, and this is not like, you're not knitting this part in the round. So I think what that avoids is that issue you get with a folded over sleeve hole, or like, not the collar so much, but like I've had this with a few sleeves where I've like folded the edge over, where over time, the shape of it starts to collapse and you need to run an elastic or something through it. This, I think, should prevent that from happening. So I'm not even halfway through this, but I think I need to knit a couple more rounds of this. Then you do a couple of rounds of slip stitches, and then knit this same amount again, fold it over and attach where I've had the little colored string here, and then attach to the inside. And then you start to basically pick up all of these other stitches to join in the round. So this is not worked in the round, which I think should mitigate that problem of the shape of your armhole kind of collapsing and looking a little untidy over time. So I'm really impressed with that. We're gonna see how it actually turns out in practice. But I love it, and I love kind of a wide like fold over. I think it's gonna look really chic, but it is so soft, so soft. I can't wait to have this done. I don't care that it's gonna be winter. I'm still gonna wear it. I'll just crank the heat up in my house. It is being worn. I'm not waiting till spring to wear this. So I should say that I am knitting the body of this on a US 5. I am way off gauge. The US 5 being a 3.75 millimeter needle. I'm totally off gauge. So I am knitting an extra large in this, which I think should be, I mean, eyeballing it should just be about the size that I want ultimately. And I am doing the trim for this on a US 2, which is I don't even know, 2.75 millimeter needle. So yeah, exciting stuff. Like I said before, I love the way she writes in terms of the actual writing of the instructions, but also the format of her patterns is just a joy to behold. It's so easy to follow. Your eyes don't swim across the page, which is lovely. Big fan. Again, she's a Mareka Knit is another one where I look at her catalog probably every other day. And I just look through the different patterns. I'm like, oh, that cardigan. Need that in my life. So I will hopefully finish this before next spring. Ribbing is not my forte, as you know, so this is slow going right now, and I have to do the other armhole, then finish the body and do the collar and all that good business. But this yarn is a joy to work with. So if you're looking for, a fingering weight yarn that is maybe for sort of a luxury project, like something a little special, Signet by Pearl Soho, beautiful to work with. It's lovely. All right, just a couple more projects here, moving right along. Now, this one is one, again, I had wild gauge concerns with on my last podcast, but this is the Cardi Cocoon by Anne Vensel. We're making progress. In the end, I got too worried and I got sick of the anxiety about gauge, so I took a steamer to this. Actually one of those, it's almost like an iron, but I think it's meant for sheets actually, where you can hold it flat and the steam just like sprays out. And this item, I mean, visibly stretched out as I was doing it. So I think again with like the 1x1 cabling, it was really scrunched in on itself. So even as I was steaming it, I thought, oh my gosh, this looks so much better already. Like I feel a lot less worried. And sure enough, like this is not as oversized of a garment as I think the pattern intends it to be, but it's plenty oversized enough for me to get, you know, my arm through here and attach a sleeve and, you know, all that good stuff. So I'm not worried anymore about this not fitting me. But now it's just a case of like, I've joined the front and the back, and now I need to knit like 18,000 yards of this pattern all the way down to where this is going to be, and then attach sleeves to it. In fact, maybe I'll just try this on for you guys so you can actually, hopefully this doesn't interfere with my mic too much, but let me see if I can do this without destroying the audio so you can see how it fits. Okay, I'm being very careful with the mic here, but hopefully that gives you an idea. So yeah, it's, I mean, it's pretty roomy still. You know, this kind of like, if I just let it sit on me, it sort of falls quite far out on my shoulders, which I think is exactly how it looks in the pictures. So yeah, the sleeve hole is maybe a little further up on my arm than it would be. I think in some of the pictures I've seen, it's kind of around there for some of the people who tested this, but not a huge difference. It's not like right up in my armpit or anything. I'm wearing a dress now, a long sleeves dress. I could easily, you know, get my whole arm through here, no problem. So yeah, I'm not super worried about this. Also, something I didn't realize, let me tell you about what yarns I'm using here. So I am holding double. I'm holding double the Julie Asseline Lezu DK in the color Biscotti and the Ito Sensai Silk Mohair in the color Goat, which actually kind of matches my nail color today. I didn't realize that this is basically mostly superwash yarn. So when I steamed this, it expanded a lot. I have not fully soaked this yet. Because it's superwash, I'm expecting it might expand even a little more. Maybe. I'm not sure, but I'm holding that in my head as a possibility. So there's a chance this might end up more oversized than it actually is. I would be fine if it was just the shape it is now and the size it is now, but I'm buffering in a little bit that there might be more growth. So I'm even considering actually maybe finishing this to the length that I kind of like, not doing the sleeves yet, and then running this through the washing machine once to see, once it dries, how wide it actually is, and that way I can calibrate the sleeves a little better. So I might do that. I've become a big fan of the kind of mid-project block, just for my own peace of mind. Oh, and I should have said I am knitting this on a US 6, so another 4mm. Yeah, and again, I'm probably pretty off gauge on this. I think this was intended for a US 8 and like a combination of 6 different mohairs, the way Anne Wenzel likes to write her patterns, but I'm not made of money, so I didn't do that, and I just kind of did 2 that I thought would get me to about the same. But I'm still excited about this, you know, but now we're in the slow going part of it, where I might start to do progress keepers, because I feel like otherwise I'm just gonna get lost in the sea of this knee-length cardigan. Yeah, but it's lovely. I think it will be, again, an amazing just wear everywhere kind of garment. I could probably even get away with wearing this to work, honestly, just to keep warm in the office. So I'll get a lot of use out of this, no doubt, but yeah, just gotta finish it now. Okay, then last but not least is my Moby sweater, which is a gift knit, Moby sweater man, I should say. And I am, again, I've made quite a bit of progress here, I think. I'm basically done with the back panel here. And I think I'm maybe like a row away from putting this on hold and picking up stitches to join the fronts. So, or to work the fronts, rather. Knitting this on, again, a US 6 4mm needle. And I'm knitting this, knitting this out of the La Mana Como Grande, which is 100% merino, non-superwash, and this is the color Bordeaux again. So I'm drawn to this Bordeaux color. yeah, not a lot to say about this. I mean, I think I kind of expressed my thoughts in the last video about this being a, you know, not super beginner friendly project. One thing I've noticed, one type of cable looks better than the other for me. So look how crisp this cable is. Okay. Beautiful, right? And then you look over here and it just like the same thing. I'm just holding the, you know, the cable needle either like this one is the one held in back. And I just don't like how it looks as much. Does anybody else have this? I was like, I've never noticed this before because I never did them in the same project before, but now I'm really like very obvious all of a sudden. But this may be something that fixes itself in blocking. And then this one, my plan for this, because the intended recipient for this garment does not live with me or even that close to us. So I think we will see him in a few weeks. What I would love to have is like, maybe not sleeves, but like the top, I would like to have joined in the round for this so I can check the fit on his shoulders and kind of under the arms. And then I will feel a lot better about the sizing of this. I've got his measurements, but he's kind of in between sizes and he's, you know, he would have been either an L or an XL and he's not a massive guy. So it's like XL just feels intuitively not right. And I just think baggy sweaters on men are not a great look. And he doesn't, you know, that's not his look. So I wanted it to, if anything, not be negative ease, but kind of be on the more fitted side. So I went for the size large, but I've never knit with this yarn before. I don't know how it's going to look kind of once it's blocked. So I think I will probably work this until I've got it sort of in the round, like a couple rounds of knitting in the round. Steam block it so it expands at least a little bit and then see what the fit is on him and if I'm happy with it. And if I am, then just keep going on the body and churn this out. I want this done by Christmas. His birthday and Christmas are kind of almost at the same time, so it'll be a happy birthmas present. But it's great pattern. I mean, it's petite knit. It is, you know, nothing to complain about, really. We will see how all the joining goes because there's a lot going on here. And I think she does it so that, like, you know, when you work the diagonal part and kind of do the shoulder portion, it lines up and you don't have all different bits of this pattern going everywhere. So that's good. Hopefully I can actually execute that and not have it look sloppy. But nothing to complain about in this pattern yet. I think it, you know, it's really nice. The yarn is great. This yarn, I think I said it last time, but if you are looking for a, you know, I'm using this as a DK. This could easily be a worsted too. If you're looking for a yarn that will perform well with stuff like this, where you're doing a lot of stuff. You're doing like crisscrosses and you're doing cables and you're doing, you know, moss stitch. This is great because it doesn't split. So I think this is a 4-ply, 5-ply, either a 4 or 5-ply, and it's very tightly spun. So it's like a really nice, crisp, round yarn, and you don't have that issue where your needle catches little bits of it and you break the yarn in half when you're working on it. It's just, it's really smooth and easy to work with. So complete coincidence. I did not buy it for this reason. I just love the feel of it and the color, but I'm really happy with my choice. So that's it for today, guys. No finished objects as of yet, but, you know, I feel like I've definitely made significant visible progress from the last time, but I also feel like I've made progress in that I haven't felt so stalled out on some of my projects. Like with the last episode, I just felt really like, I don't know, kind of stuck with the Claire vest in particular, where I didn't know where to turn, and I was basically doing the chicken thing, which was to just do nothing. And I feel better now that I've decided it's not really for me. And, you know, part of it is the structure of the garment and how big it is, but also, you know, I don't know, we're past summer now and I'm like, it's not that hot. Like, do I really want this item? I don't really own anything like this. I think it was just, I love her patterns and I thought it looked cool and I had this yarn and I thought, ooh, let's combine those two cool ideas. But I am feeling better about the whole thing now that I've decided that there will be another purpose for this yarn. Probably not this winter, just because I have so much else going on, but one day it will get used for something beautiful instead of something that I'm kind of feeling already meh about before it's even done. So I feel good. Clarity feels good. And hopefully the next time I see you guys, I will have finished one of the moon sets, maybe even the Bruno, if I don't take too long on the ribbings. So we'll see. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope if you are in the Northern Hemisphere like me, you are enjoying some fall weather and the leaves are changing and everything's beautiful and you're enjoying fall knitting. Thank you as always for tuning in. If you have any thoughts or questions or comments, please leave them down below and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.